Today, we're plunging into the pretty formidable world of Anna Wintour. Just her name conjures up these images, doesn't it? Power, that bob, the sunglasses. But the sources you've given us, they go way beyond that image. They really show the architecture of her influence, how she became this, well, this architect of modern fashion. So our mission today is to unpack that. How did she build this incredible power, and how does she still wield it? Okay, let's trace it back. London, 1949. That's where it starts. And what jumps out right away from the sources is her background. Her father was a big deal newspaper editor, right?
Exactly. Charles Wintour, editor of the Evening Standard. So she grew up completely immersed in media. Words, power, shaping public opinion. It was all around her.
But she didn't follow him into print, not exactly.
No, and that's what's fascinating. While her dad used words, the sources really highlight Anna's early instinct.
Yeah.
It was visual. Even as a teenager, she was drawn to fashion, to style, not just liking clothes, but seeing it as a language, a way to influence.
A different kind of media power.
Precisely. She recognized early on her medium would be visual, not, purely text-based like her father's. A very clear signal, even back then.
And she jumped in pretty fast. Entered fashion magazines with this. Well, audacity seems like the right word, especially for a woman back then rising through the ranks so quickly.
Absolutely. It wasn't about just fitting into the existing system. The sources suggest she arrived with a really distinct, almost revolutionary idea about what fashion should be.
Yeah, she didn't see it as this, like, exclusive club for the super rich. Her vision, it sees, was that fashion needed to be seen. It needed to be, well, provocative.
Visible, shocking even, sometimes uncomfortable.
Right, it had to grab attention, push things forward, not just mirror wealth.
And if you think about the fashion world at that time, that was revolutionary.
Yeah.
Fashion was often quite insular, very elite. Her pushing for it to be visible, shocking, that was a direct challenge.
So not just democratizing the clothes, but the impact of fashion.
Exactly. The reach, the power to make people talk, to shape culture, that was the groundwork for what came next.
And that next really kicks off in 1988, American Vogue.
She becomes editor-in-chief.
But as the sources make clear, that wasn't the peak. That was just the start.
Just the ignition point, yeah.
Because that very first cover.
Yeah.
Wow. It became legendary almost instantly, didn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It was such a calculated move, a total rejection of that old-school fashion elitism.
Featuring a model in, what was it, cheap jeans.
A LaCroix couture top, but paired with, yes, inexpensive Guess jeans. Unheard of for a Vogue cover.
So what was the message there? What was she saying?
Well, her famous quote when asked about it sums it up. I make fashion for the future, not for the past.
Okay. So not just about the denim.
Not at all. It was a declaration. Shattering the old idea of Vogue. It signaled loud and clear this is a new era, this is Anna's era.
And that one cover, you could argue, that's the real start of Anna's empire.
I think you definitely could. It showed her vision, her power, and her absolute willingness to tear up the rule book from day one.
And she certainly did redefine things. Her job wasn't just about picking photos.
No, far from it. She became the ultimate gatekeeper. Arbiter, maybe. Deciding which brands got the spotlight, which designers soared.
And which ones, well, if they didn't get her backing,
Okay.
they struggled.
Essentially, yes. The sources talk about careers being made or destroyed based on her support or lack thereof.
You see that with people like Marc Jacobs, right?
Yeah.
And Galliano.
Absolutely. They achieved huge fame, and her early, crucial support was a big part of that story. But it wasn't only designers she controlled access for.
Right. The sources mention actors, pop stars.
Pretty much anyone wanting that coveted Vogue cover needed to pass through Anna's filter, as the sources put it.
So she wasn't just reflecting culture. She was actively deciding who got to be in the cultural conversation.
That's a great way to put it. It speaks volumes about her power over popular culture itself.
And then there's the movie connection, which is unavoidable.
Ah, The Devil Wears Prada.
Starring Meryl Streep. And yes, directly inspired by Anna Wintour.
And what's interesting about the film and the book it was based on is how it cemented her image beyond fashion circles. It showed her influence wasn't just within the industry. She'd become this cultural figure, almost mythical in a way.
And the sources back that up, the level of control.
Completely. They paint this picture of meticulous, behind-the-scenes control.
Yeah.
Everything from, like, the lighting at fashion shows.
Seriously, lighting.
Oh, yeah. Down to exactly who sits where in the front row. Every single detail.
Wow. So it wasn't just about the clothes on the runway. It was orchestrating the entire world around it.
Precisely. Orchestrating a world.
So fast forward to today, decades later. Her name still carries immense weight, doesn't it?
Undeniably. You mentioned Anna Wintour, and people still pay attention. There's a certain silence, a respect, maybe a little fear still.
It really underscores that she's so much more than just a magazine editor.
Absolutely. The sources position her as a lawmaker, essentially. A lawmaker in this world that, for many people, is completely inaccessible, something they can only dream about.
She didn't just follow trends, she set the agenda.
Set the rules. Who mattered, what mattered, how it all worked. She built the empire, and she still presides over it.
So wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you listening? We've looked at her journey from that media-savvy childhood to, well, the queen of fashion. We've seen the strategies, the vision, the sheer force of will involved in reshaping an industry.
And how that influence rippled out way beyond just magazines and runways.
So maybe the final thought is this. If you've ever dismissed fashion as, just a superficial thing, perhaps it's time to think again.
Because it's clearly a powerful cultural force.
And figures like Anna Wintour are undeniable proof of just how powerful it can be.